The savings are colossal.
At Sun Valley Waterbed's giant 13th birthday sale. Choose from 13 different waterbed styles for less than $199. And get 2 king-size pillows free. Choose from 13 more waterbed styles.
And get the matching nightstand free.
How about luxurious Backsaver soft sides, now just $3.99.
I like it.
And romantic canopy beds for only $38 a month. With a free nightstand.
Oh, my.
The savings are colossal during the giant 13th birthday sale now at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
It's the last week of regular round 2 competition on Star Search 88. The last week for the brightest new stars of the year to take one giant step closer to $100,000. Who will sneak in under the wire? Who will make it to the round 2 semifinals? Some very excited performers are ready to give you some very important performances. The most important performance of their lives. Watch it all. Watch them win this week on Star Search 88.
Burns and Ditka, take your marks. Sunday sounds the bell for the biggest transatlantic fight of the year. It's the Vikings versus the Bears in Sweden. Join Channel 4 as we travel across the Atlantic to witness a battle between the Central Division favorites. Kickoff is at noon, and when the dust settles, stay tuned to Channel 4 for post-game highlights. This is Mark Rosen. Join Ralph John Fritz and Joe Sensor for a special Vikings locker room right after the game.
Four-wheel drive passenger car in America. Up to $1,500 cash back on a Subaru is worth more because it's on a Subaru.
Hurry into your Twin City area Subaru dealer today. Offer ends soon.
Are you looking for a new radio station? One you can relax and spend the day with? If so, WLTE, the Light FM 103, has been specially designed just for you. The Light FM is perfect to listen to, just to take it easy. Soft, easygoing songs to sing along with, at work, at home, or in the car. So if your radio station's changed recently, come to the only FM station where you can relax. The Light FM 103 WLTE.
It was a painting frenzy in the Twin Cities today. 8,000 volunteers brush up more than 300 homes in need of a fresh coat. It's one of the stories we'll cover.
WCCO Television presents Mike Walsham, Cindy Hilger, Mark Strell, and Ralph John Fritz. This is the 6 p.m. report.
Good evening, everyone. A Robbinsdale family is mourning the death of a father and husband tonight. 67-year-old Rolf Ringdahl's body was found in Crystal Lake this morning. He apparently fell in last night while walking the family dog. But this story is more than another summertime drowning. Daryl Savage has it.
When the 12-hour search ended this morning, the family and friends of Rolf Ringdahl found what they were looking for, but what they hoped they wouldn't find.
He somehow lost his footing and ended up in the lake.
3 blocks away at the Ringdahls' home, the victim's wife and 4 children reminisced. Rolf had suffered from a condition similar to Parkinson's disease in the last few years. He didn't move well and was beginning to have trouble speaking. His best friend didn't do much talking either. Shane is 15 years old. That's 105 in human years. She's an important part of this family. In the past, she's ridden on the back of motorcycles with family members for the fun of it. She was with Rolf last night when he apparently fell into the lake about 6 o'clock. The Ringdahls say Rolf would walk down to the lake with Shane all the time. The dog wouldn't leave his side. So when Shane was found 2.5 hours later, dripping wet and dragging her leash, the family knew what had happened. The family says Shane is acting differently today. She seems to be suffering like everyone else. Friend and neighbor Ruth Johnson was the first to know. She found the body as she walked around the lake this morning.
What went through my mind was, well, we'd found him. Because last night when we were waiting and not knowing, it was awful.
The family is not in a mood to talk right now, but they're left with pictures and memories. All of them are. Daryl Savage, WCCO Television News, Robbinsdale.
Robbinsdale police are treating the death as an accidental drowning. A stabbing in North Minneapolis has left 1 man dead. About 11 o'clock this morning, police were called to the 1400 block of Newton. Neighbors say a misunderstanding over a robbery apparently led to an argument which led to the stabbing. Police have a suspect in custody. The name of the victim has not been released. A group of women police officers is headed to China this weekend. Lieutenant Carolyn Bailey from the St. Paul Police Department is heading the group. She and Sergeant Deborah Montgomery left the Twin Cities this morning to rendezvous with the rest of the group in Seattle. The China visit is a technical exchange where Chinese police will share information and learn from their American counterparts. Some rain fell in portions of the metro area today, but it was largely of the hit and miss variety. Northern Minnesota also got soaked. Heavy rain fell overnight, leaving some residents in the Hibbing area to pump water out of their basements this morning. A flood watch was issued for parts of northern Minnesota after nearly 6 inches of rain fell. Thousands of Twin Cityans donated their day off today to take part in the 5th annual Paint-a-thon. Some 8,000 participants set their sights and their paintbrushes on more than 300 homes in the metro area, homes in need of priming and painting. All of the volunteers came from local churches and businesses. They painted homes for people who are disabled or financially unable to do it themselves.
You know, that's why we do it. We come out because, you know, it's generally older people who can't, you know, take care of their houses themselves. And it's just a nice way for us to participate in the community and help somebody.
This is a great thing for people like me, you know, because I told them the only way I could paint the house is to lay on the roof and paint it upside down.
Since the Paint-a-thon began 5 years ago, nearly 1,000 homes have been brushed up. The 2 millionth fan passed through the turnstiles of the Metrodome today as the Twins hosted the New York Yankees. Today's crowd totaled nearly 52,000 people. This is the second straight year the Twins have surpassed the 2 million mark. The team leads the American League in attendance and is on a track to set a new American League record with 23 home games yet remaining. By the way, there are still 3,000 tickets available for tomorrow's game at the Dome. The Louisiana Superdome is filling up with fans of a different kind this weekend. Political fans awaiting the start of the Republican National Convention in New Orleans. Our convention team offers a preview when we come back.
Of all this country's strawberry growers, only this grower meets the high standards of the Cub Foods buyer. And of all this man's strawberries, less than half are good enough for Cub Foods. His other strawberries may be fine for other supermarkets, but Cub Foods only selects the best of the best.
Well, that's one.
Cub Foods. It's a new way to run a supermarket.
You give it your best, so we give you ours, and things keep looking better all the time. Lose sight, it's a science and an art. You get great color from the start. Lose sight when it's coming from the heart. It's the science and the art of painting.
Win Lucite's $10,000 college scholarship sweepstakes. Get a form today at Knox.
So come and celebrate the year of '88 at the Great Minnesota State Fair.
Embers. Lunch, dinner, anytime. Tender fish, chicken, and sizzling good meats, each at a great low price. In fact, if you can find it better for less, we want to know about it. Embers. Big taste, small check.
This week, it's the Republicans' turn to showcase their presidential candidate, and they're gathered to do just that in New Orleans. As we did for the Democratic National Convention, we have a full crew in New Orleans to cover Minnesota's role in the presidential politicking. And heading it up are Skip Loescher and Colleen Needles.
Good evening to you, and welcome to the Louisiana Superdome. It is where 4,600 delegates and alternates will spend the next week, as will we at CCO.
There are right now other work crews down on the floor putting the finishing touches down there, completing the transition from football stadium to political arena. Now, this is the home of the New Orleans Saints, and it's where 4 Super Bowls have been played, as well as the Sugar Bowl. It can hold up to 85,000 people, but for this convention, it's been cut in half to accommodate about 35,000 people.
And we will be watching it all from our skybox above the convention floor. Now, that thing that kind of looks like the mothership from Close Encounters of the Third Kind is a special $1 million light grid put in by the Republican Party. You got it. It does hinder our view just a little bit, but It's there, folks. It won't go away.
And it's hindering a lot of people's view.
Amen.
Here this week. Well, the Minnesota delegates arrived today, and they received a musical welcome this afternoon. A jazz band greeted a few of the Minnesota delegates who arrived in New Orleans today. There are 31 delegates from Minnesota and 27 alternates. Most supported Bob Dole in the primaries, but now most are hoping Jack Kemp will be selected for the vice presidential slot.
This afternoon, brass bands and fireworks greeted leaders of the Republican Party at a special celebration in front of the Superdome. It was a VIP welcome for Maureen Reagan, Party Chair Frank Fahrenkopf, and others. 10,000 balloons were set free. The air thundered with daytime fireworks. We even received a special welcome from one of the Republican faithful.
Welcome to New Orleans.
It's a fascinating city, and the Grand Old Party is getting some experienced help trying to stage a Grand Old Convention. It comes from a New Orleans firm that has been in the party-making business for 41 years. In a warehouse on the city's west side, you can find the faces of death and the faces of art. They are the huge fiberglass and papier-mâché heads that lead each year's Mardi Gras parade. And in the same warehouse, you can find preparations for a special party. That's artist John Woodruff putting the final touches on George Bush's smile. The giant Bush head will join other Mardi Gras luminaries in a special display near the Superdome. Woodruff has done a lot of Mardi Gras, but this one is different.
Well, this means more, because it's not just Mardi Gras. It will be, I think, scrutinized a little better, because it won't be, when these heads are out, they're among 100 other heads or on floats or whatever, in a whole parade, whereas this is going to be standing alone.
This same warehouse once served as an eerie backdrop for a Clint Eastwood film. And even then, politics was creeping into the scene. Notice that head that Eastwood is walking around. And there's even a character that Sylvester Stallone would love. He's called Ronbo.
Well, it's special because I happen to be a Republican, and I love Reagan and Bush and all, and it's a lot of fun.
Blaine Kern started this business 41 years ago. These days, he makes 500 floats a year, and he's known as Mr. Mardi Gras. Kern says he has no plans to make a Dukakis head, but he says he would have had fun with the Democratic presidential nominee 4 years ago.
I'd had fun with Mondale. Well, I'm a conservative Republican, so that ought to be enough.
I'll bet that kind of fun Fritz Mondale would just as soon he did not have. By the way, those Mardi Gras heads will be part of a big celebration down on the riverfront tonight. The Minnesota delegates will be taking a walk down there, I'm sure, and spending the rest of the night partying.
I don't suppose they're going to have a difficult time finding a few places to party here in New Orleans, do you think?
Oh, heavens.
And we're going to be back with more on the Minnesota Delegates Day in New Orleans tonight at 10.
And when we come back, we'll tell you if there's any more rain headed our way tonight.
My new shirt. Mom's gonna kill me. No problem. That's what washing machines are for, right? Right.
Another unreported stain. You know, the kind your family doesn't tell you about till it's through the dryer and set for life. That's why you should add Biz Bleach to every wash load to find many unreported stains and lift them up and away. Even though unreported stains have a way of slipping into your wash, they can't get by Biz.
At Kemp's, we never know when the inspiration for a unique ice cream flavor will strike us. This summer, it's Peaches and Cream, a delicious limited edition ice cream from Kemp's.
Are you looking for a new radio station? One you can relax and spend the day with? If so, WLTE, the Light FM 103, has been specially designed just for you. The Light FM is perfect to listen to, just to take it easy. Soft, easygoing songs to sing along with, at work, at home, or in the car. So if your radio station's changed recently, come to the only FM station where you can relax. The Light FM 103 WLTE.
The
savings are colossal. At Sun Valley Waterbeds, giant 13th birthday sale. Choose from 13 different waterbed styles for less than $199. And get 2 king-size pillows free. Choose from 13 more waterbed styles.
And get the matching nightstand free.
How about luxurious Backsaver soft sides, now just $3.99. I like it. And romantic canopy beds for only $38 a month, with a free nightstand.
Oh, my.
The savings are colossal during the giant 13th birthday sale now at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
At Kemp's, we've been working hard to make our new frozen yogurt 97% fat-free. Kemp's low-fat frozen yogurt in 4 natural fruit flavors, so smooth and refreshing, you won't believe it's only 80 calories a serving.
Kind of a gray day today, but I see the sun peeking through now. Is that fair to say? The rain is gone?
We can still see it on our radar scope, but it's moving on down the road after only an inch of rainfall, or I should say a trace of rainfall here, a couple of inches up to the north. But right now, yes, you are absolutely right. We have mostly sunny skies in the Twin Cities and 85 degrees. The relative humidity stands at 61%. The wind's out of the west at 15 miles per hour, the dew point at 70 degrees, and that's why it still feels a little hot and humid, and it will continue to feel that way throughout most of the evening. 29.71 and rising the barometric pressure. Our high today, only 87 degrees. That's kind of a news flash since we didn't hit 90. This summer we've hit 90, 41 days so far. Trace of rainfall, sunrise tomorrow at 6:13 and sunsets at 9:14. Speaking of the radar scope, we'll pop that puppy up here and take a look at some of the showers that were here within the last couple of hours. And you can see some of them were pretty heavy up to the north. In fact, there was a tornado watch box that was up across much of northwestern Wisconsin. Much of that has been taken down, though, within the last couple of hours. Here you still see some scattered showers and thunderstorms over by Eau Claire, mostly very light, and a couple other little pockets of lighter precipitation. Most of the area-wise in scope is up around Duluth at this hour. Well, let's take a look at the satellite picture, and I think that's up there, the satellite picture. Here we go. This is over the last 13 hours. You can see the showers and thunderstorms pushing through the state, but it is clearing, especially off to the southwest, and that's why we think that the remainder of the evening will look pretty good. In fact, clearing skies all the way back into much of the high plains. Still some more showers right up here into the northland, and more showers out across Wisconsin this afternoon and throughout this evening. Will still remain quite humid, though. Here's the temperature is quite cool up to the north, 68 degrees. International Falls, 72 degrees. At Thief River, warmer temperatures down in the south. Rochester at 87, Redwood Falls at 87 degrees. Our forecast map for tomorrow shows the low pressure system, which caused all the showers and thunderstorms up to the north, zipping off further to our west, and that's why all the showers and thunderstorms will continue to push off further to the east. It will be quite cooler, too, especially with this little frontal system sagging down here. Temperatures will be 70s across the North Shore, 80s for most of the midsection of the state, but still some 90s hanging on in the southwest, and things will continue to build in for the extended forecast period as well, as we'll be back in the 90s by next week. Elsewhere, 100-degree readings down into the southland, and 90s across much of the central portion of the United States. There's our forecast for tonight in the Twin Cities. Partly cloudy skies, a low of about 68 degrees, still quite humid though. Winds southwest at 10 to 15. Partly sunny skies, continued warm tomorrow, high of 88. Winds west at 10 to 15. And clear skies, warm and sticky again, 68 degrees for the overnight low. Sunny skies, hot and humid, and 92. Whoa, excuse me. Woo! I like that. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, chance of some thunderstorms. Finally clearing out on Thursday. Highs will be in the 90s for the early part of the week, Tuesday and Wednesday, and cooling down into the 80s once again. So there you go, 42, 43, it looks like 45 days of 90-degree heat easily within our grasp here.
Who's counting at this point, right?
That's true.
Thanks, Mark.
Certainly.
The Twins may have been crying after last night's loss to the Yankees, but they won a laugher today, and it was on national TV. Highlights with Ralph John Fritz when we come back.
Clark turns. Will it clear the curtain? Yes, it does by 20, and the Twins have the lead.
Prior to owning the Chevrolet, I had a Ford. Well, I switched to the Chevy because I like the looks better than the Ford. I found out that they had completely redid the truck. You need a four-wheel drive truck. You don't want to have to get out and lock your wheels in. If you want to go into four-wheel drive, you can just shift into it. This Chevrolet truck is the best vehicle I have ever owned.
heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
If you don't believe it, just go out and try it yourself.
You give it your best, so we give you ours, and things keep looking better all the time. Lose sight, it's a science and an art. You get great color from the start. Lose sight when it's coming from the heart. It's the science and the art of painting.
Win Lucite's $10,000 college scholarship sweepstakes. Get a form today at Knox.
We're America's second largest seed company because we're doing it right through research.
Doing it right. Doing it right. At the new Northrop King, we're doing it right.
This year we introduced Fortress, the only alfalfa with resistance to Aphanomyces. And each corn hybrid is developed from over 5,000 experimentals.
At the new Northrop King, we're doing it right for you.
A new season on Channel 4, the Viking Station.
Ralph John Fritz takes the sports show on the road today. He joins us from the Met Center at the Hunting and Conservation Show. RJ?
Where it's running through Sunday, Cindy, and Kent Herbeck must have just slipped out of his baseball uniform, came out here. He has a seminar about 200 feet down the road. He is also out here tonight. It's going on all night, so come on out and join us. Well, the key to that 12-2 Twins win at the Dome this afternoon had to be Roy Smith, the pitcher who didn't know he was going to start. Alan Anderson was to pitch. He took ill, and so Smith took over, and boy, did the Twins take over. Let's point out right here, to err is human, but to give Steve Lombardozzi an error here on this play is ridiculous. The man was out by a mile at second. Umpire Tim Cheetah said, no, you're safe. Yankees scored on the play, but the offensive hero of the game, Twin, Gene Larkin. Gene, the hitting machine, 3 singles, a home run, 4 RBIs. This one, a 2-run shot off reliever Neil Allen on their way to that 12-2 win. Larkin also with some defensive heroics in helping Smith get his first win of the season as a Twin on short notice.
Sometimes, but I've been a starter my whole career. You know, I don't have a relief appearance in the minor leagues, and I've spent my whole career living my life around those 5 days. You know, the 5th day I'm going to pitch. So, you know, me thinking about it isn't, you know, I'm used to it.
So the Twins are 8 out, but looks like they may not gain any ground on Oakland. The A's with a 4-2 lead in the 6th. Other scores, Texas beat Cleveland 12-3, and Boston clobbered Detroit 16-4. You might say Dewey's Dingers did in Detroit today. Dwight Evans, nicknamed Dewey, hit a pair of 2-run homers today at Fenway as the Sox extended their home winning streak to 24 games, the American League record. In the National, Montreal slips closer to the Mets 7-4, and it's Chicago 5-1 over the Cardinals. Now, prior to the Twins game this morning, former Twins and former Yankees suited it up in that one, and what is a classic it was at the Dome before the regular game. Don Larson didn't really look perfect in that game for the Yankees, but neither did Harmon Killebrew. Harm was surrounded in the lineup by names like Oliva, Allison, Versailles, and Reese. And now silver-haired Jim Perry started on the mound for the Twins. Money from the game goes towards former big leaguers with financial difficulties. The Yanks had people like Johnny Mize, Bobby Richardson, and Moose Skowron. Johnny Blanchard looks like he's lost a little speed on the base paths, but added the waistline.
Anytime I can return to the Twin Cities and have the camaraderie with the ex-teammates, it's a lot of fun.
Well, it's a lot of fun out there. I mean, you see guys that you haven't seen in a long time and all, and then naturally seeing the guys wanting to play again.
Well, day 3, as we said, of the Minnesota Hunting and Conservation Show at the Met Center, and topping today's activities was the duck and goose calling competition, and this is state competition in the juniors, and the duck and geese better scurry this fall. It's competition that's been going on all afternoon at the Met Center. In the youth division, Matt Jensen, the duck calling winner, Scott Thorpe of Edina, winner of the goose calling class. Masters division, Tim Gesh, the winner, both ducks and geese. Chris Peterson, the defending champ in ducks, came in second. Well, the Vikings finished up their Swedish tour today, their sightseeing tour, one day before they take on the Bears in Sweden. Both teams were taken on a tour of Volvo's top-secret developmental plant. Apparently, airplanes are part of the Volvo arsenal, I should say, but autos were the main attraction today. The Big Bang brought cheers from football's Big Bangers, who also enjoyed watching the Swedish version of two-wheeling. Mark Rosen will have more on those Swedish sights tonight at 10. Holes in one have been about as common as straight drives in the PGA Championships in Oklahoma this weekend. So far, count the four tee shots have ended up in the cup. The tournament leader, Paul Azinger, led today's Hit It Perfect parade, picking up his hole-in-one on the par 3 fourth hole. Azinger's ace put him 11 under for the tournament. He finished the day 9 under, a shot ahead of the pack. Only 25 minutes after Azinger, Ray Floyd started one. He also had a hole-in-one. So Azinger leading Dave Runnels by 1 shot. And Pearl Sin is the winner of the women's amateur. That at Minnetonka this weekend. We'll have more on that at 10 o'clock. So back to you, Cindy.
All right, Ralph, thank you very much. A Minnesota sports team is just back from an international event. No, the Vikes are still in Sweden. We'll tell you about the little Gophers when we come back.
Do I have to be a mom today?
Coast, the scent opens your eyes. Coast lather, and you realize that Coast is the way to make you feel alive. Coast, feel alive.
Hey, I was just warming up.
Feel alive with Coast.
It's Game Fair, the outdoor sporting event for the entire family. WCCO's Don Shelby gives the big picture on bass fishing. Bring your dog, pack your bow or gun, and practice with the pros. Visit outdoor exhibits. Science Diet presents the 2nd annual World Retriever Festival. Let your hunting dogs compete against England's finest. Meet Tony Parnell, the Queen of England's dog handler. Remember, 2 big weekends, August 12th through 14th and 19th through 21st at the Armstrong Ranch in Anoka.
You know, Super America always has something on sale. Really great stuff like, ice. Sandwich stuff. Film.
This week, get a free Olympic pin when you buy twin packs of specially marked Kodak 110 or 135 film.
So, come on down to Super America for pet supplies, frozen food, bacon and eggs, diapers.
It's the brightest new stars of the year, taking one giant step closer to $100,000. Watch them win on Star Search 88.
The Vikings are not the only Minnesota team which has taken their show on the international road lately. Another Minnesota team has just returned from some worldwide travels of its own. The Minnesota Little Gophers, 10 teenage boys, returned to the Twin Cities yesterday after spending the last 3.5 weeks in Japan. While in the Orient, the team played baseball, football, and volleyball against some of Japan's best. While posting a winning record on the field, the team says they also tasted success off the field.
I came out of there and I felt more about the world because I knew like what they do in Japan and their customs and everything.
Off the field, the team took tours and were honored at banquets. And beyond sports, the Little Gophers program offered an opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to play favorite sports in a faraway land. And with that, we're going to say good evening and see you back here tonight at 10.
Roaches. They could actually be the cause of illness in your family. Because roaches are now proven to carry at least 6 known diseases. Fact. There's only one way to handle a problem like that, Orkin. With over 85 years of proven experience and the only nationwide money-back guarantee in the pest control business. That's why more people in more places call Orkin more than anybody else in the world. Call Orkin today for any pest problem you have. We could be all the protection you'll ever need.
Never before has
technology been applied to the marriage of meat and bun.
You can cut the time it takes to make a burger. You can cut the time it takes to cook one. And in the end, you can cut the heart right out of a burger. All in the name of good business. Well, at Hardee's, we put a little extra care into each hamburger we serve, so we can make this cut in the name of good taste. Because at Hardee's, we're out to win you over.
I'm Ron Hanberg. Today's consumers are pretty smart shoppers. Most businesses are honest and fair. But as long as there's greed and sloppy workmanship, consumers need all the help they can get. That's why we're creating Help Center 4, a new way for WCCO TV to help viewers solve their consumer problems. Help Center 4 will feature an on-the-air consumer reporter, backed by a corps of trained volunteers answering your calls and questions. Help Center 4, coming this fall to WCCO Television.
WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Channel 4.
Look at this studio, filled with glamorous prizes, fabulous and exciting merchandise, including a kitchen showcase filled with gourmet gadgets. Or you might choose this snappy, high-powered sports car. And for TV lovers, the latest in big screen sets. Over $140,000 just waiting to be won on Wheel of Fortune. And now, here's your host, Pat Sajak.